Hey guys, welcome back to the garage. In this video, we're going to be wrapping up the remaining rust repairs on the $500 Honda Civic Hybrid. In the previous two videos, we did more symmetrical repairs where both sides of the car needed the same rust repair. In this video, they're going to be more one-dimensional, kind of random rust repairs that are scattered throughout the car. Let's go take a look at them. So starting off with the most challenging of the set we'll be doing is right here in the trunk. So this rust area is right along a seam, and I believe it's caused because water is getting into the trunk, an issue I have still yet to rectify. But that rust spot is obviously pretty bad. I punched through it with a screwdriver, so it's very much needing replaced. So this is the inside of the trunk. Let's look on the outside. So this panel is right here. You wouldn't ever see it if you didn't have the bumper off. But it is pretty nasty now that the bumper is off. So I think the way I'm gonna tackle this is kind of drill out all of the spot welds and then cut out a rectangular shape here, and hopefully that allows us to put in new metal fairly easily. Now the next areas we need to attend to are on the passenger rocker panel. And right here, you can see on this pinch weld, looks pretty nasty right there, and I looked above it and I could see some bubbling happening, and I pushed in there with a screwdriver and it pushed all the way through. So I'm thinking we're gonna have to cut this section out and just put in a new piece of metal, and I think that's all of the rust issues. So not terrible. I call them one-dimensional because I don't have to rebuild an entire box section. It is literally one piece of metal that needs to go in here and then back there as well. So let's get to taking on that trunk panel. So that is that trunk corner now finished. It ended up being a bit more complicated than I originally thought because I did have to replace both sides of that pinch weld section. So if you look under here near the exhaust, had to do that side and then this side, and of course welding upside down always adds a bit of difficulty to any sort of rust repair. So let's look inside the trunk. And that's what it looks like on the inside. There are no pinholes. I put a light in here just to make sure I couldn't see any light from the outside. And everything is sealed up. Just needs some seam sealer to ensure that those welds stay clean and that no water seeps down between that pinch weld, but this should be a pretty long-lasting repair right there. Okay, so let's look at the next area to address, which is on the rocker panel here on the passenger side. And it's been disguised underneath this rock chip guard that a lot of cars have here on the bottom of the rocker panels. But you can see it's really starting to perforate, and we've got actual through holes right here. I poked there with a screwdriver, so I know I need to cut out probably at least this section right here. I'm not sure what we're looking at right here. We got some bubbling. I'll hit that with the wire wheel and see how deep that really goes. Alright, so that is that rocker panel all finished up. Now I'm not too worried about making these welds flush with the rest of the rocker panel because I'm going to have to put in a lot of this chip guard anyways, and it's going to obscure all of that for the most part, and it's pretty much out of the line of sight, so you can't even see it unless you're really looking for it to begin with. So I think that's pretty much good enough. Obviously very solid now. And with that finished, that pretty much wraps up all of the welding I anticipate doing on this car. Anything else that's going on is just surface rust that I can touch up with some rust converter type stuff. So no more welding. I think I'm done here, which is a huge relief because it takes up quite a bit of time to do all this welding. So in all, there were 6 rust spots we had to attend to: the 2 rocker panel corners, up here in the wheel arches, and then in the trunk compartment over here, and then obviously on the passenger side rocker panel, there was that 1 spot. Over here on the bench, I have all of the pieces of rust that I cut out of this car. So this is kind of a strange display, but I thought it was interesting. So over here we have the rear wheel arch cutouts, which is kind of neat to see these pieces isolated from everything else. If you don't get these out, then the rust continues to spread, but once you take them out, rust is done. These are the rocker panel ends near the wheel wells. Pretty nasty. There's that inner box section I had to replace. And over here, this is the trunk panel, those 2 pieces that make that seam. And then this is the bottom of the passenger rocker panel. And that pretty much wraps up this video. In the next video, we're going to get down into doing some more body work, as in putting the seam sealer in, putting some body filler, and making those welds kind of match the contour of the rest of the body. And then we'll do some painting to hopefully make these spots not stand out. Again, never looking for perfection here, just looking for something that doesn't really draw your eye to it. And I think we can achieve that because we did it with the BMW E30 after all. So, as always, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you guys again soon.